We all talk about social media addiction, but what if we've been blaming the wrong things this whole time? A new study suggests the real culprit isn't just mindless scrolling, it's something way more specific. So let's break down what they actually found.
All right, be honest. Are you watching this right now when you're supposed to be studying for an exam or, I don't know, finishing that report for your boss? If you are, hey, don't worry about it. You're definitely not alone. And there's actually a name for this.
It's called cyberloafing. You know exactly what this is, that little digital escape to check your messages, watch a quick video, or do some online shopping. It's a completely normal thing, and it's right at the center of our investigation today.
And when I say it's normal, I really mean it. One source the study looked at found that a whopping 65% of employees admit to cyberloafing during work hours. It's basically a universal part of the modern workday at this point.
Okay, so this brings us to the core of what's going on. Researchers zeroed in on 5 main types of cyberloafing. I want you to think of them as the 5 prime suspects in a police lineup, and the crime is figuring out what actually predicts social media addiction. Let's meet them.
The study broke it all down into these 5 key activities. You've got sharing, real-time updating, shopping, gaming, and accessing content. Let's just quickly run through what each one means.
First up, we have sharing. This is pretty much all of your social interaction stuff. Sending memes, commenting on your friends' posts, all the back and forth in your group chats. It's how we connect.
Next is real-time updating. Now this one is all about you. It's when you're crafting that perfect status, posting a story, or sharing an article to your own timeline. It's your broadcast to the world. Suspect number 3 is shopping. I mean, this one's pretty simple, right? It's all that time you spend browsing online stores when you really should be looking at that spreadsheet. Then we've got our 4th suspect, gaming. This could be anything from a quick game on your phone to kill a few minutes to jumping into a much bigger online world during your lunch break.
And finally, suspect number 5 is accessing online content. This is the big one. Falling down the YouTube rabbit holes, scrolling through TikTok, binging a show, basically passively consuming media.
So we have our 5 suspects all lined up. But how did the researchers actually figure out if any of them were connected to social media addiction? Let's take a look at how they did it.
The whole thing was pretty straightforward. Back in 2024, researchers surveyed 318 social media users in Malaysia. They had one simple goal: find out which of our 5 suspect activities could actually predict addictive behavior.
So they ran the numbers, they analyzed all the data, and the results that came back were, well, they were definitely not what most of us would have guessed. Get ready for a twist.
Just look at this. The researchers figured that shopping, accessing content, and gaming would be big predictors. But nope. The data said otherwise. Those hypotheses were totally rejected. The only 2 activities that turned out to be statistically significant predictors were sharing and real-time updating.
So this is the really crucial point here. Out of our 5 suspects, only 2 of them were found to have any kind of meaningful link to social media addiction. So let's isolate the guilty parties. The number 1 culprit, the biggest predictor by far, was sharing, interacting with other people. Then, coming in at a close second, was real-time updating, posting your own stuff. Everything else, the study found the link just wasn't there.
So okay, why is this so important? What does this actually tell us about addiction? And really, why wouldn't things like shopping or binge-watching videos be a predictor? They feel so compulsive sometimes, right?
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? We hear about online shopping addiction all the time, but the answer isn't really about the activity itself. It's about who the researchers were studying.
See, the answer's right here in the demographics. The vast majority of the people who responded, over 90%, were young adults between 18 and 25. And look at this, over 70% were students, and almost half had a really low household income. That gave the researchers a pretty clear explanation.
And here it is, straight from the source. The researchers basically said, look, this group, while they're super active online, they just might not have had the money to get into an addictive shopping habit. It's a huge reminder that context changes everything.
Okay, now get this. Those 2 factors that were significant, sharing and real-time updating, they were so powerful that they alone could explain 56.2% of the social media addiction in this group. That's more than half the puzzle solved by just 2 behaviors.
So, what is the big takeaway from all of this? What this study suggests is that, at least for this group, addiction isn't really driven by just passively consuming things, like watching videos or playing games. No, instead, it's driven by active performance.
It's all tied to the things we do to present ourselves, to manage our identity for an online audience.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The next time you feel that little urge to post an update or share that meme, maybe just ask yourself, am I just connecting with people, or am I performing for an audience? Is this really just a post, or is it feeding something more?